Hi there and welcome to this next video on positioning. My name is Rob McNichol and today we are going to talk about crafting your opposite message. Now if you've watched the last couple of videos you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, so I'm not going to go over the same old stuff again and again and again. Go and watch the other videos if you haven't. If you have, cool, you're ready to go, so let's crack on with this video. Right, let's do this opposite message. The opposite message, just to recap, is your message to compete against the person above you on the ladder. So how do we do this? Well, as we mentioned in the last video, I want you to look at the things that people are saying which they don't like about your competitor, and I want you to try and find ways that you can position yourself to counter those objections. So your messaging should be to counter against that. And what I'm going to do is give you an example now. I'm going to have to glance away slightly because I've got my laptop just down here and it's got the example from a client I worked with recently who wanted to open a French restaurant in Austin, Texas, and we had a look at the leading competitor and we had a little bit of an investigation to see what the competitor was doing wrong. So I'll be glancing down and up, down and up. Hopefully you'll stay with me. So first of all, we looked at what people liked about the competitor for this restaurant, and what they really liked about it was that the food was really nice. There were big portions in this restaurant. It was quite a relaxed service and it was quite chic settings, so quite cool settings in the leading person in the marketplace. And as they were a new entrant, we said, okay, well let's take on the leader rather than to go right at the bottom and try and work our way up. We said, look, what the leader doing? Let's position ourselves and market effectively for that. So then we looked at what people didn't like about this French restaurant that was leading the space in Austin. Now, the first thing is they said that actually the food was not all that French. They marketed themselves as a French restaurant, but there was lots of stuff on there that wasn't particularly French. Maybe some Italian stuff, maybe some more Americanized or English food. And that was annoying some people who were going for the French experience. They also said the service could be a bit more attentive, so the service wasn't necessarily ideal within the restaurant. So next we had a look at how these guys, the competitors, were marketing themselves, and they weren't really marketing themselves. They had a tagline on their website which is relax and feel like you're in the European countryside, but there was no actual marketing out there, which again presented a remarkable opportunity because of the fact they're not using any paid advertising or any other marketing strategies that were obvious to us from our online research. It meant that with an effective message and a bit of marketing, there was a massive chance to really dominate in that space. So then we had a look at our message that we could craft, and we looked at the negatives and we said, well, what's the opposite? Well, if we think about what people don't like, what they don't like is the fact that food is not necessarily French. They also don't like the fact that the service is a bit off. So we crafted the message, which was authentic French food with attentive American service. And that kind of encapsulated what people really, really wanted. So that became the first part of our positioning statement. And I say first part because there is a second part to positioning, which we'll be covering later on when we start talking about customers. Because to make your actual positioning statement really, really work for you, you need to combine both this statement that we just talked about, so talking about what you are, the opposite side, but you also need to include talking about your customers so you can appeal directly to them, so you're calling out to your ideal customer. But we'll cover this when we talk about customers and how to identify and work out who your perfect customer is, and then we'll pull this information back in and finish off this example so you can see how this worked in the real world. But hopefully now you can see how using opposites can be very effective and how we then do that. However, and here is and it's not even a caveat actually, this is a kind of get out of jail thing. If you find that you're doing this and it's not working for you, all is not lost. There is actually a way that you can then jump in and become the market leader yourself. And I'm going to teach you that in the next video, and this one doesn't actually require you to craft this opposite positioning message. Yep, you are going to need to do some kind of positioning and have your own message and actually try and work out what people really want generally in the space, and also work out who your ideal customer is, but you're not going to have somebody above you on the ladder to compete with. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.